Hunger is really an important thing that I think about, because in this country we have so much food, so much is thrown away, and the need for helping people in the St. Charles County area is tremendous at this time.
Caring and Sharing is a food pantry that operates in a 24/7 emergency mode. If anybody needed food, they can call. We will see that they're given food. We usually give them at least a month's worth of food, and it's well-balanced food. We give meat, dairy, produce, not just carbs.
I am the director of Caring and Sharing. It started out of my garage. I had a wonderful husband who left his cars out for a whole year, which God love him.
We wanted to do something to help the community, to help the poor, the needy in our area. And as in any group, you always need somebody that will take you that next step on. Jamie's the perfect individual to go that next step. And she's always at the top of this, always out in the public, always finding the need for this.
You know, I've always said that we have the greatest CEO around, and that's God, because we've never wanted for anything. Anytime something's gotten low or we needed something, it's been provided.
So he does have a hand in this, and Janie has helped lead us the rest of the way. She's the material person that gets us where we need to be.
The Pink Fire Truck, which is a nationwide tour that comes through the area, it is to support the cure for breast cancer, and the Pink Heals Tour also combines together for women and breast cancer. Caring and Sharing comes out and supports them and does a food drive. They also pick women that are in need of help, and we supply the food for these families and women. This is very close to my heart because I am a 5-year breast cancer survivor, and I know that there are many women out there that need support and funding and help.
Because of her, there's a lot of people getting help today that wouldn't ever be reached. Not only with that, she works on the school board, so she helps with that. She's active in her parish, she's active with the fire department. It doesn't just happen, it's a lot of work in the background, and she does all of that.
I've been involved with many things, and I'm very proud of all the things that I've gotten to do, but Caring and Sharing reaches out to people that need help, that won't ask for it.
She cannot stand to see an individual hurting. No matter how small, how big, we must do something to help them. She's always in the help mode.
They're just like me, but unfortunately fallen on hard times, and we are able to help them. And that's why I know it's so important.
Never had a boring life. I went through so many different things. It's probably a fault because I like to do something until I find out I can really do it, and then I want to go on to something else.
Decades worth of service to the community, quite varied from war bonds to Reach to Recovery, St. Louis Jewish Book Festival, Press Club, etc.
The Press Club of Metropolitan St. Louis is just one of my most favorite organizations because I like newspapers. I like the feel of the newspaper. I'm sorry we're so electronic, but their goal is to foster and give scholarships to future journalists because we need to get people with more integrity into journalism.
It's really incredible, you know, the kinds of stuff she's done during her life, and I'm really proud of her.
After I had a double mastectomy, I wanted to do something for other people.
There is an organization called Reach to Recovery where they actually have people who've had surgery talk to people who are expecting to go through surgery or have gone through the surgery and want to talk about, well, what's life after that.
They asked me if I would do a fashion show, and I did this fashion show, and it was called Does She or Doesn't She?
Which of the models have had mastectomies or not? Frankly, people couldn't tell. And that was done locally, and it was picked up by Sally Jesse Raphael.
And she came here to St. Louis. She taped a part of it and talked with me.
She wasn't afraid, you know, she's like, this is what's happened to me, and I'm getting on with my life, and life is good. And I think it was very inspiring to the audience to hear that. After having worked with REACH for recovery, she's then gotten involved with other organizations such as St. Louis Breast Cancer Coalition, and there she set up a fund expressly to do research in breast cancer.
I promised my grandson when he was little, I used to tell him this story about the little boy who liked peanut butter so much, which was my son, and it was true. I couldn't keep enough peanut butter in the house, so this was his favorite story, and I promised him, someday I'm going to write a book.
My mom's book that she self-published is called The Perils of the Peanut Butter Kid. She's donating a portion of the money that she's making from it to the wellness community that supports people with cancer.
I've been very lucky. I can have fun with what I do and help other people. Can't be better than that.
I think the arts are very important to a community. First of all, it really develops the quality of life in a community. And when residents are looking for a place to stay, people are looking for a place to move to, companies are looking for an area to relocate or maybe to start a new business, they really look at quality of life issues.
Patty thinks art is important to a community for personal development and growth within the individual and as an economic engine.
I feel that one of the purposes of starting Art on the Square was to promote the Metro East side of the river, and especially to promote the city of Belleville where I live.
Art on the Square, the #1 art show in the nation, exhibits 100 artists handpicked from a jury to exhibit their work around the fountain in downtown Belleville.
Besides the exhibited work from the artists, we have a huge high school exhibit that encompasses 42 Southern Illinois high schools. Last year we had 325 entries in our high school exhibit. We give prize money to the artist of $28,000, and we also give $3,000 in prize money to the high school exhibit.
We also have entertainment both for children and for adults. It's truly a family event, multi-generational family event.
And we really love to showcase the Belleville Philharmonic and the Masterworks Chorale and many other cultural entities that are on the Metro East side of the river that people may not be aware of.
Not only has she started Art on the Square, she's very active with the Chamber of Commerce. She was one of the co-founders of the West Belleville Promotional Committee.
I also have worked with producing the first storytelling festival. I'm a life member of Junior Service. I'm on the county zoning board.
She has a vision that everything can be bigger and everything can be better, and we can really make this place that we live really put it on the map. And because of Art on the Square, Belleville, Illinois is on the map. And that is largely through the enthusiasm and the vision that Patty Gregory has.
I like the journey to the destination because you meet so many people along the way and you see this positive energy, and it keeps people motivated to continue on and to do things that are good for a community, and in turn everyone benefits from it. And I really feel that is what really guides people towards volunteering.
I think that the community as a whole cannot be a vibrant community without organizations that do things for the community and that the community can be involved in.
Judy's been with the zoo for a long time, and really she's done some extraordinary things for us in the last several years. 2007, she started with Zoofari, which is our huge event. 2008, she did Zoo-A-Doo, kind of taking it easy. Then 2009, she chaired Zoofari, which is huge.
I started very early on this event because it is such a big undertaking.
Imagine inviting 2,700 of your best friends over for a party, but instead of having one restaurant cater it, you have 70, and instead of having one live band, you have, I don't know, 6 or 8. And, instead of having one bar, you have countless bars, and instead of wrangling a couple of your friends into volunteer, you get hundreds of them.
In fundraising, you have to be creative, and fundraising is important for all the organizations because without money, they can't function.
Producing, in our case, $829,000 in one night really makes it possible for us to do a lot of things for a lot of people. And she's aware of that. She knows the role that she played, and she deserves to be very proud of it. We're very proud of her.
In the past few years, I have been involved in Dance St. Louis, very active with them, also Arts and Education Council, chaired a couple of their galas, and both of those organizations do a lot for the arts.
The nice thing about our volunteers, and Judy in particular, is that they're not just involved with the zoo, they're really community volunteers, and the zoo's a community asset, so it's not terribly surprising. So you find people like Judy that works for the St. Louis Public Library, or that works for the Red Cross, and she does both of those things.
I was on the Red Cross board for 6 years, and I was development chair at the time of 9/11. It was very stressful because the money just poured in. It was just unbelievable, but it all went to New York. So our Red Cross chapter here had to really do the hustle and see that we continue to have our funds to function.
You want to find somebody to get something done, find somebody that's really busy. Find somebody that's really doing a lot of things, and odds are that's the right person, and Judy's the right person for us.
I believe that my actions in volunteering are a good example for my children, my grandchildren, and for other people. And I really would like for people to think about giving their time.
I'm really honored to be involved with many organizations in St. Louis that interest me and that I spend my personal time on. One of them is I chair the board of the Oasis St. Louis, and that's really important to me.
Oasis is a national not-for-profit organization specifically aimed at offering opportunities for people over 50 years of age in the areas of education, culture, technology, volunteerism, health and wellness.
I chair their St. Louis board because I believe that is essential to have a strong community. You have to have education at every level, but lifelong learning is something we all need to participate in.
Debbie also is very involved and leads the Missouri Coalition for Math, Engineering, Science, and Technology.
I became interested in that when I saw some national statistics that show how we're not performing well in those areas across the U.S., and certainly here in Missouri it's no exception. So I got engaged and really have tried to work on 5 areas, and that is encouraging more students to pursue METS careers, more teachers to teach math and science, and also to improve student performance in those areas, and also to put high-quality technology in classrooms along with curriculum. Because we all use technology every day in our lives, and we want our students to have every opportunity to learn that as they're coming through the grades.
I think Debbie is naturally outgoing and naturally someone who wants to help the community. And she does so much over and above her professional duties as Executive Vice President of AT&T.
Another organization that I work with, I chair the Foundation Board for St. Louis Community College. And I'm passionate about St. Louis Community College because I believe it's affordable, it's accessible, and it's quality education everywhere in our community.
Debbie is always there when you need her. And a good example is that when the chairman of the United Way Women's Leadership Initiative had to move out of town in the midst of a campaign, Debbie stepped in, and it was so successful they raised $5.1 million. Now, not surprisingly, they asked her to head it again this year, and of course she's going to do it.
We all have something to offer our community, and what it is, we have to look inside ourselves and find that passion and that connection and go out and find an organization that matches that and get engaged. And the best thing is, When you're helping other people, you are helping yourself. You get far more out of volunteering than you ever give, and it truly makes your community a better place to live and work.
I see a problem and think of a solution and then want to make it happen.
Karen is one of the most exciting people that I have ever met. I'm telling you, when she puts on those cat glasses, it means that she has an idea in her head that is going to get done.
Books and Badges is a program where all the police recruits in the city of St. Louis, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, go into St. Louis public schools, elementary schools, the same one every week, for the 6 months they are in the academy learning how to be police officers. The first goal is for the students to see police in a helping light. The second goal is for the recruits to learn about the community. The third goal is reading and writing and moving that needle, but you can't do too much in 6 months. But it's just a wonderful program for the kids and the police officers and the community as well.
The Teacher Home Visit program that has been created by Karen Kalish is one of the programs that we need in our community. It's a simple philosophy in which you get teachers that are visiting the homes of children who may need some additional assistance. And we know, because the data tells us, that if teachers and parents are involved in the students' education together, those outcomes are going to be extraordinary.
I realized that there were all these parents who were not involved in their kids' education. And we have to get to the parents. It's a three-legged stool. Principal, teacher, parent. And without that third leg, most kids are not going to make it.
Cultural Leadership is a program that was started about 6 years ago that brings together students and parents that are from the African American community as well as the Jewish community. And they look at the world through each other's lenses. They experience some of the historical aspects of those relationships, and they also look at current situations around social justice. And it has been a fascinating journey. Even though the program is so young, it has had a significant impact already throughout the country based upon its graduates.
Slowly, we're making a difference. It takes a while to get the word out and to really stand up, speak out, and take action. And that's what cultural leadership is all about. Teaching the young people to stand up, speak out, and take action to right the wrongs, to right the social injustices.
Karen's enthusiasm is infectious, and I'm telling you, she is the best troublemaker that the St. Louis community has ever had, and we need her in that role.
I think St. Louis needs someone who's going to stir things up, and I take no prisoners. I will not stop until all the social injustices are gone and we have equality and justice and inclusion for all. I will always speak up and take action. It's who I am.
I think it's very important for kids to be interested in science because science is everywhere and science is everything.
She retired, some years ago from teaching 25 years as a science teacher, and then she took on a new career of volunteerism.
I want the students to be able to get the experience and the exposure to science careers that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to get.
I found it very interesting that she took a very deep interest in the aquatic science. And sitting here in the Midwest, our youngsters would never get that exposure.
It's a program called WAMSI, World Aquarium Aquatic Marine Biology Science Institute. And I started that program 2 years ago. And what we do is we recruit students from the city, from the county, and the rural area to come to St. Louis to learn about marine biology. And we take the students for 10 days to Florida to get an ocean experience. This is no cost to the students also. Each One Teach One is a program where you recruit mentors to go into the school and help groups of students work on a science fair project. And that comes from the American Association of University Women, and I'm the science fair chair for that program. I also work with CHIPS, Community Health and Partnership Services, and I'm able to help them raise funds in order to help their youth program, which is a teaching program on how to live healthy lifestyles.
She has been instrumental in helping design our strategic plan, and we now are expanding our services to reach more of the uninsured and underserved. All of the volunteerism that Sandra does, she finds a way to hone it back to the children. And I think that's the greatest investment that anyone can make, particularly in the role of a volunteer.
Sometimes your heart is more in it when you're volunteering, and you need to give back. I had a pretty good life, and I think most people need to give back to the community. So I think it's important to volunteer.
If you engage cultures along with the arts, then it can be very magical in the transformation that actually takes place. Hitana Productions is basically a nonprofit that uses music, dance, and drama, it's multidisciplinary, as a strategy for bringing ethnic communities together.
If you bring people who represent various cultures into the St. Louis community, then we are providing a means for residents of this area who are also from diverse backgrounds to learn through music, through dance, through drama, about the ways in which we are more similar than different.
One of the activities that we did in the year 2000, which I thought was probably one of the most important efforts that we made, was to bring the China National Orchestra to St. Louis.
And 80 members of that body came to Powell Hall and presented an outstanding performance to an audience that was really 1/3 Caucasian, 1/3 Asian, and 1/3 Black American, and it was a marvelous experience for us all.
In 2008, we produced our first play, and that play was Complacency of Silence Darfur. In preparation for that play, we interviewed human rights workers from all over the world, and we also talked to refugees from Darfur.
It was a wonderful educational experience for the audience that was at St. Louis Youth Theater that night. And people walked out very much committed to trying to learn more and trying to do more.
We actually brought a face to the humanitarian crisis there. And I'm very proud to say that that particular play was nominated for 6 Kevin Kline awards.
A couple of years ago, Hitana began a youth global education program.
And what we do is we use drama, dance, and cultural diversity training to teach kids from different cultures about each other's culture, but also how to do these performances that come from the different cultures as well. If we can start to gently remove what people perceive in a limited way and open up their minds to the possibility, then I think that we're performing a very important function, and not as activists. We're doing it with the universal language, which is music and dance and drama.
I've been volunteering as long as I can ever remember, and volunteering is what makes change in any community. So sustainable efforts, volunteer efforts, will allow various projects and initiatives to be done in a community to make it thrive and grow.
If you look at the organizations that Val is involved in, they are the top, what I consider, 3 organizations that empower women and young girls in the area. And that is Girls Inc., the Girl Scouts, and the YWCA.
Knowing the issues and challenges of what girls that turn into women go through, it just is a good natural fit for me.
because I want them to be the very best that they can be. I'm currently the board president for Girls Inc. Have been involved with Girls Inc. for the last 4 years.
Volunteering for her is not focusing on one particular issue. It's the whole package.
I never look at it as this thing or this thing or this thing. I just look at it like at the Girl Scouts. I'm very honored and humbled to be co-chair of the search committee. Our CEO has just announced her retirement. So I'm really excited about who we will be putting into that role to take that organization to the next level, as I co-chaired the Y search committee, and we found Adrian Bracey. So I chaired the audit committee at the Girl Scouts. I chaired the racial justice committee at the Y. So you just kind of ebb and flow, as I say, in the opportunities that are out there.
I call Valerie Val Patton. That is the one name for her that I use, because to me it signifies strength, determination, getting the job done. So that's my nickname for her, and that's what she exemplifies, that type of woman.
If we each follow that one talent, that one thing, that really gets us juiced. You know, I tell people I love what I do. I love what I do professionally. I love what I do in volunteerism.
For Val Patton, it's all about helping others. So there is no division between her professional life and her volunteer life. In a professional life, what she's doing with the St. Louis Business Diversity Initiative is helping people of color move up the corporate ladder.
It's all about bringing out the best in people. And I think if we're volunteering and we're giving back, we will be the best that we can be.
Well, I originally was in the slums of Pittsburgh and then spent time in an orphanage and then got adopted and came to St. Louis, and I haven't grown up yet. When I was in the orphanage, Hanukkah was coming up, and I was told to pick a toy. And I wanted a doll that opened and closed its eyes, and I wanted a nurse's kit. And they told me, don't be greedy, pick one. And so I decided when I grew up, kids wouldn't have just one gift. And so kids with Santa's Helpers all get 5 gifts.
Well, Santa's Helpers is an organization that gets referrals from other agencies that know that there's a family that's in trouble and that there's not likely to be any sort of Christmas. The organization arranges all year long to collect presents, wrap them, and make sure that they're all age appropriate for the kids in the home, and sends out a fleet of Santas on Christmas Eve and sometimes on Christmas Day to deliver to the families that are in the program.
In 1968, I was president of the Evening College student body at University of Missouri St. Louis. And one of our professors was with St. Vincent de Paul Society. And he came and asked me if the council would sponsor a family that had fallen through the cracks. The woman had 8 children and had no money and lived in the park projects. And the council barely voted to do it. And so we did the family that year. Next year they voted not to do it, so I and a few council members continued it. And from that one family, we've grown to over 600 families now. And it became Santa's Helpers.
These are new toys in real wrapping paper, and so there's no thought that this Christmas is going to be a little less than what they could have gotten. It's a real Christmas.
We received the neatest thank you note from a father year before last, and his note said, I've been laid off, we had no money, we're afraid we're going to lose our home, and I had to talk with the kids about there is no Santa. He said, I was in a very bad mood, there's a knock at my door, and there stands a man in a Santa suit, who had not only gifts for my kids, but gifts for my wife and I. He said, when that man left, my 5-year-old looked at me and said, Daddy, you lied. There is a Santa, I will always believe. And he put P.S., I will always believe now too. Thank you.
In addition to Santa's Helpers, Rita is also involved with a group called Call for Help, and it provides housing for women 18 to 25 that may have children with them, may not, and allows them to live somewhere safe, for up to 3 years until they can get back on their feet.
We have so many people out on the streets who are homeless, and they need some place to go. And you have women out there living in cars with kids, and the kids can't even go to school.
I think Rita really embodies the spirit of giving. I mean, there really is no part of her that just can't stop giving.
When someone says to me, is there a Santa Claus? I said, yeah, because Santa is the spirit of giving. Santa is giving and asking nothing in return. And that's what life's all about. We have to share what we have, or we'll never have anything.